Hey guys, figured I would do a video just on my Pokemon at this point in time, show you what I've caught, the interesting things I've found, what I'm using the most. Incineroar is my starter Pokemon. Talked about how cool it was. Unfortunately, the nature I was given wasn't necessarily great for what it turned out to be. It is a Pokemon with a higher attack than a special attack, and unfortunately the nature I have hinders its attack and makes its defense better. So I like that its defense is good. Unfortunately, it's not going to hit as hard as it probably should, but that's the nature of the beast. Unintended. But I've got Darkest Lariat right now, Fire Fang, and I'll probably figure out some more TM stuff to teach it later. Mudsdale is probably going to be one of my core Pokemon. It was definitely very powerful in the mid game. I don't know what it's going to be in the late game, but it's very high attack. It's a Pokemon I like. Even when it was Mudbray, it seemed to do very well, especially in that fire trial. But it's got Heavy Slam right now, high horsepower, which I love the fact that most of these Pokemon seem to have some kind of signature move. Charjabug. I am definitely liking Charjabug. I know he evolves again because I fought the trial with the evolved version of him. I have been spoiled to the fact that he has to evolve at a certain point, but I don't think I've come to that point yet, like a physical location yet, so once I get there and evolve him, I'll figure out how good he is. I assumed he would fly because he learned acrobatics, and yeah, as I've seen the evolution, that seems to be consistent. Ribombee is a fairy bug Pokemon. I liked Cutiefly, and you know, I didn't know what I was going to think about this one, but it's been fairly useful so far. Any Pokemon that can have a fairy attack that heals it a lot will definitely be useful. Bouncy just evolved. Honestly, I didn't think this Pokemon was going to turn into what it is now. It's only level 30 and it has an attack of 95, and it does have a nature that benefits that attack, but very, very strong attack for this grass Pokemon. So we'll see how it does in the later game, but it just evolved and I'm pleasantly surprised with it. Sandygast. I'm told this turns into something cool, and I'm curious to see what it does. I have gotten in battles with an electric Pokemon with this Pokemon, where we couldn't actually do anything to each other because the electric Pokemon floated. I think Petalil is my party, and I didn't actually want to show you it right now. Where am I? There we go. Gozelopod. An Isopod is an actual animal, and I caught a Wimpod, and I saw this Pokemon after I battled somebody else, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Let's see what its stats are. So this one also just evolved, and I like the attack and defense. I'm not so sold on the speed. It's really hard to be a good Pokemon if you can't outspeed some stuff, and his special defense isn't great. And I'm not big on forcing on it switching out on its own, but we'll see. We shall see. What I meant to go to was this Meowth. This is a whole line of old Pokemon in new forms. This Meowth item, I'm basically just trying to get a Persian out of it. I will probably not use it after I get the Persian, but we'll see. Grimer has been one of my core Pokemon since the beginning, and I've never really used a Grimer. So the Dark Poison Grimer seemed interesting to me, and it's done pretty well, and I've seen what the Muck looks like, and I'm waiting for it to evolve into a Muck. Yeah, this is the new form of Dugtrio. I think it's actually kind of worse than the old form. The Steel typing, I feel like, picks up a fighting weakness, and I don't think its Tangling Hair necessarily is better than Arena Trap. And I haven't really used him since he evolved, but man, that is a goofy looking Pokemon. Hypno. I'm using a Hypno. I kind of wanted it to have a Alolan form, but it didn't. And I haven't used it much since. It's kind of been replaced by something else, but I forget how bulky it is. Okay, the Marowak. Once I saw the Marowak, I was like, I may as well try it out. And I've kind of been pleasantly surprised with it. I don't know how great its stats are when it comes to everything, and I've had to teach it moves so that it can get the same type stat bonus, but it's been an interesting one. I will probably keep on using it. Magnemite and Magnezone is one of my favorite Pokemon. I haven't played it since Steel got weakened a little bit when it came to things it was resistant to, and it has had a few times where it's gotten destroyed by things, so I don't know if it's as good as it was. Alright, so Salazzle just evolved. This is a female one. If you've been watching these videos, you know that I had a male one, and I did not know that it didn't evolve. So I ended up catching a female one, and this is the result of that. I was kind of not happy about my male one not evolving, because there's not too many clues. If you look in the Pokedex, after you fight Salazzle, it shows that there's a little symbol on there that says, hey, female. It's not much of a hint. I'm kind of not... I wasn't terribly satisfied when it evolved. I was like, yeah, it's fast and it's got special attack, but is it that great? We'll see. We'll see. Obviously my fire slot is filled, so... And there's Salandite, the male one. Yep. Mr. Waste of Time. Wishy-Washy. Those stats don't really say anything, because when it does its little transformation thing, it gets a lot better. But Wishy-Washy has been pretty powerful, especially in sections where I haven't had that many water Pokemon. I don't know if this will be a water Pokemon I take till the end. It's definitely interesting. I don't know why the schooling thing happens and it doesn't just evolve, but I do have a Beware evolved from a Stuffle. It evolved and I was like, oh, okay, you look strange. I did have to teach it Brick Break. It hasn't really learned moves yet. I don't like the ability Klutz. Obviously, not being able to use items is like, this doesn't seem like it has that much use. It has high attack and some HP, but that's pretty much it. I don't really think I'm going to use it. Lycanroc, meanwhile, is a little more interesting. I think he certainly looks cool. And now I'm looking at his stats, he's like, I guess he's not great, but I think it's a cool rock Pokemon. Talked about Gozzlepot already. Going down to stuff I don't use as often. I caught a Dewpider. I also caught its evolution. At some point I will probably work with it. Just caught a Crabrawler, which was the first Kahuna's main Pokemon. I know it evolved, so I'll probably mess with it. And I do have an Adamant nature, and that seems to be something that'll work for this Pokemon. So I'll definitely train it next. I do have a Fomantis. I do want it to evolve. I don't know what the requirements are for that at this point, but obviously you see its evolution in the grass trial, and that one was pretty cool, so definitely want it. Do have an Oranguru. Like I said, it's kind of replaced Hypno in that it's got the higher defense psychic type. Something about it says on this Pokedex entry that it evolves. I've seen a trainer that has what's supposedly its evolution, but it didn't seem like... Actually, another thing about it, I think it was like fighting... I don't know. I'm not sure how this evolves into the other ape thing. You guys probably know because you're not spoiled, or you are spoiled with stuff, but it just seems odd. Yeah, Toucannon. I think some of you guys know this. I am a zookeeper, and I did not expect this to evolve from my little woodpecker guy. I definitely didn't. I will also point out that it is basically just a toucan. Like, there's not terribly much about this that's different than the animal it's based off of. It is a 3-foot-tall toucan with a cool move that can burn things. It's definitely interesting. Gumshoes. This is a detective Pokemon? And its Pokedex entry, it says it eats Rattata? That's kind of weird, isn't it? I do have a Snorlax. It is kind of interesting having a Snorlax this early. It is useful, certainly. It's one of those Pokemon I wish it had more than 4 move slots. And of course, I do have a Poliwhirl. I will probably evolve it into a Poliwrath, because Poliwrath is one of my favorite Pokemon, but I don't know what moves it learns, so I'm not sure when to evolve it. I have taught it Scald, which is a pretty good TM at this point in time. Hariyama is a Pokemon I've been using lately. Never really used it before. It's pretty cool. I did just pick up this nice Chansey with a decent nature. Kind of scared to train it, but never really had a Chansey before. And then of course there's a couple weird Alolan forms, including a Geodude and a Sandshrew. But I have a bunch of other Pokemon, but those are my most interesting ones. So hope you're enjoying the series. Hope you enjoyed this video.